everyone, and welcome to a new episode on my channel. New video on my channel. I'm Adam, and this is my top 10 favourite Matt Smith episodes of the Doctor Who episodes of the Matt Smith era of Doctor Who. What the hell? Top 10 favourite Matt Smith episodes of the... My top 10 favourite episodes of the Matt Smith era of Doctor Who. Boom! First try! No, it wasn't. But first try. This is basically a list of 10 episodes, 2-parters counts as one episode, by the way, which I like, and from the Matt Smith era the most. And this can vary from any episode from series 5, 6 and 7. Christmas specials and any other specials do not count. The movie doesn't count either, because that is technically a special. And that's it. Now, I will say, before we get into this list, this is my opinion. So if your opinion is different, please leave in the comments below which episode is your favourite. And another thing that I'll say, there are a lot of episodes from the Matt Smith era that I like, so it was a hard choice for me. But one more thing. If I was to include specials for both of these episodes, for least favourite and favourite episodes, The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, that one will be on least favourite episode. No surprises there. It is very unpopular. It'll probably be around 4th or 3rd. Maybe even 2nd. It's actually very bad. And for favourite Matt Smith episodes, The Day of the Doctor I'll obviously include. Because who doesn't like that? And The Time of the Doctor, is it? Yeah. Is it? Oh. Yeah. I think it is. The Time of the Doctor, the episode where he regenerates. That one I'll also put on the favourites list, as they're both brilliant episodes. Other than that, from the specials I remember, I won't be including any more, because that's pretty much it. So now let's get into this ranking. Now, unfortunately, I was able to pick out 13 episodes, which I like. So, well done, Adam. Unfortunately, though, I couldn't pick a top 10. And I found myself just at 11. So I just felt like I had to make the top 10 and just include 11th place, because I know it'll probably pop up on the top 10 in the future. So the honourable mention I have is The Power of Three. And it's there for the simple reason it is entertaining to an extent. It's just really funny to watch Matt just do a bunch of activities, paint a fence, tries Hoover, a bunch of household chores really, play a game of football and a few other stuff, and I think may have broken a window at some point. In the span of 10 minutes. It really tests his patience, and I find that really funny. Plus, who doesn't like the chicken dance? I think it's called the chicken dance. I'm not sure. But it's actually really entertaining there, so I like it. The only thing that I do have a problem with are the villains, because I don't even know what they're called. But I know they have like vacuum-shaped mouths, which is a bit strange. But luckily we don't see it that much, so it's fine. It's fine. So let's move on. 10th place is the Pandorica Open / The Big Bang. This was the finale to Series 5, and it was a good finale. It was really fun to watch, actually, because you got to briefly see Vincent van Gogh again, as well as have his painting included, and also it features it's supposed to feature every villain, every enemy the Doctor's ever had. The Daleks, the Cybermen, the Sontarans. The Jadoon appeared, but I don't know why they're enemies. Probably from the Shadow Proclamation whole drama on the Soul and Earth episode. But other than that, it's really good. I really enjoyed seeing all that. And the Sabine appeared again. So, well, not really appeared, but they were mentioned. So, at least they were included. And The Big Bang, that's a really fun episode to watch. And I can't watch The Big Bang without watching Pandorica Opens. And I like both of these episodes. I think when it came to ranking them separately, I think I put The Big Bang over the Pandorica Opens, but I'm not sure. Big Bang, I think, came 4th, and Pandorica Opens probably came 6th. Yeah, should have come. It should have came sixth. Yeah, sure, we'll go sixth. Yeah, sure. Ninth place is The Wedding of River Song. This is the finale to Series 6. And as for all honesty, Series 6 was a bit of a up and downhill roller coaster, especially with Let's Kill Hitler. But I think it ended on a strong note with the finale, because I enjoyed the finale very thoroughly, actually. It was really fun to watch. If I was to give one complaint about this episode, it was probably the fact that... did we have to open up on the... did we have to open the episode with the alternate timeline and the fact that time just freezes until the Doctor dies? It was just very strange to me and very unnatural. But getting past that, it's actually quite a good episode and I like it. Plus, yeah, the Test Alexa comes back, which isn't important, but it does make the Doctor survive an impending fate, which would happen. So it was really nice to see that the Doctor lives. But we knew he was going to live because he's the Doctor. 8th place is The Lodger. Now, The Lodger is one of those episodes which rarely features Amy. And, yeah, Amy does appear, but not very often, which is good to some people, but bad to others. I'm on the fence here, because I like Amy, but I like James Corden. Like, who doesn't like James Corden? He's hilarious. I think this episode is actually really good. Villain is forgettable, but it's just thoroughly entertaining to watch, really. And a bunch of really funny things happen in this episode, especially with the Doctor trying to act like a human, which is a recipe for disaster, as we all know, because he's the Doctor. He's the Doctor! But I think there wasn't a few other funny things. Maybe Craig's... well, that's James Corden, but Craig's awkwardness around Sophie. But other than that, it's just a really good episode. I like it. I don't understand why Reese doesn't like it. He told me he doesn't like it. I don't understand why he doesn't like it. But I honestly don't care about his opinion because, well, it's my opinion. It's my video. 7th place is The God Complex. Now, this is an episode that I think not many people are talking about. And I really like this episode. I don't know why I don't know why I don't hear people talk about this episode, because I like it. It's a good episode in my opinion. The fact that some people who have different faiths and beliefs are taken to a planet, I guess, somewhere there's literally an endless hotel, and them just believing in their faith that would save them, but really it's leading to their death. I think it's actually really good. And the fact that the villain, the Minotaur, doesn't actually want to do this is also quite good as well. I honestly love it. And I just thought it was a very well put together episode, and I'm not entirely sure, but the thing that was behind the Doctor's door, I can't remember if it was actually shown in a future episode or not, but I have a strange feeling it was the crack. The crack in time and space, the thing that was shown in every other episode of Series 5. I would like to believe it was that. But then again, I do not actually know. I think it was shown. It should have been. But I do not know. But overall, I just think it's a very well put together episode. And I'm actually really upset that not many people talk about this, because it's a very underrated episode in my opinion. 6th place is Amy's Choice. Now this one is notorious for being a very creative episode and very well put together, as I might say. Because the villain, the Dream Lord, is actually an evil counterpart to the Doctor. And like the Doctor, it changes every time the Doctor changes. So, for all we know, if he comes back, we won't know it unless he actually announces himself. Like how we don't know who the Master is until he says, "I'm the Master," or Missy, in my opinion, or Missy, in Missy's case. But yes, yeah, I think Amy's Choice it kind of had Amy choose between a life with Rory or a life with the Doctor, which kind of links on to the next episode in this ranking as well. It gives Amy a choice where technically she had to choose who she'll put first, and in this episode it was the Doctor. However, in 5th place, the Angels Take Manhattan, the final episode of Amy and Rory. Rory dies again. Spoilers, by the way. Too late now. At the end of this episode, Rory does die, and there's no way in which the Doctor can take him back. But with that, Amy was forced to choose again between the Doctor, live with the Doctor, or live with Rory. And I'm really happy she made her decision, which was to live with Rory, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm glad that Amy chose to live with Rory because, after all, they are a perfect couple. They're a perfect couple. They're cute together. I love them. I love them together. Really do. And the fact that Amy finally chose Rory is very nice to see. And it's an episode which I'll go to every now and then. Even though I really do not like the Angels for where they are now, I would have rather them stayed in Blink and just Blink. Because Flesh and Stone and Time of the Angels, along with this episode to an extent, especially the Statue of Liberty, it ruins the Angels, really. I rather have them saying Blink, but that's another story for another day, which I'll never get to. But with the exception of that, I absolutely love this episode. Plus, it's all based around one book. And the fact that Doctor doesn't like endings, but he needs to get to the ending eventually, it kind of reminds me of what Ood Sigma says to the 10th Doctor. The song is ending, but the story never ends. And then we go to the next Doctor, which the story does end. But that's besides the point. That's the story with the Amy and Rory. So yeah, it was good. I really do like this episode. It's very well put together, and probably not intentional, but vaguely links to the 10th Doctor's, well, what Ood Sigma said about the song ending, but the story never ends. So that was very well put together, in my opinion. 4th place is Closing Time. Now, Closing Time, what can I say about this? It's the return of Craig. He's back, and he has a kid named Stormageddon, Dark Lord of All, or Alfie for short. And also had the Cybermen, a good episode with Matt Smith and the Cybermen. I've waited so long for that. I love this episode, I really do. Like with the Angels Take Manhattan, I see it's very well put together. And really, originally the Doctor only went to see Craig just to say goodbye to him, as he knew he was coming up to his death, which was in the finale. But he got caught up with some noticing, as he says, and got dragged into some conflict with the Cybermen, where Craig really stood out, and he made it funny. And the episode's even more funny, especially with Alfie. But yeah, it's just really well put together. I absolutely love this episode. There's nothing really wrong with this episode. And like with the God Complex, in my opinion, very underrated. And they're back-to-back episodes as well, which is even more funny. The back-to-back episodes are so very underrated. 3rd place is A Good Man Goes to War. Now, as I said multiple times in the previous video I did, A Good Man Goes to War is a fantastic episode. Now, I do not remember what I scored it out of 10, but I know it's a 9 or a 10. I know it's one of those two. If not, I'll be livid with myself. I'll be really upset if it wasn't a 9 or a 10, because this one is a very well put together episode, and it, like with the fan base, is very popular, just like the next 2 episodes are. But A Good Man Goes to War, as I said, very well put together, and really brings out the Doctor's dark side there. And it had such a unique, well, no, not a unique, but it had such a great twist, which caught me off guard the first time I watched this, and kind of made a lot of sense when it came to previous episodes, especially Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, that's a two-parter, and Pandora Opens, Big Bang, Time of the Angels, Flesh and Stone, basically every episode before that one with River in it. And second place, The 11th Hour. The debut episode on Matt Smith, technically, where he was the Doctor, and I am glad it was a good one, because as of all honesty, Rose debut of Christopher Eccleston wasn't that brilliant in my opinion. Christmas Invasion, the Doctor was asleep for most of the episode, and for the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, it was Deep Breath, and from what I vaguely remember of this episode, he's asleep. No. He's just not entertaining that episode, really. He's just, like, walking around, talking like he's high on regeneration energy, which he is. But still, though, it's just a bit strange. And for Jodie Whittaker, the woman who fell to Earth, we'll talk about that one when we get to that series. Because that series is notorious for being bad, but it had a couple of good episodes. But anyway, moving back to the 11th Hour, is probably the best debut episode of a Doctor there is, and it's probably going to remain the best. Anything negative to say about this one? Probably the way that Prisoner Zero's true form looks. It is really bad CGI, but ignoring that, it kind of felt like a bit of a fairy tale kind of thing, linking back to Amy Pond of when she was a child, of how everything seems like a fairy tale to her, which is very good. And not to mention, towards the end, the Doctor versus the Atraxi, I just found very well put together, and that is probably one of my favourite scenes from Matt Smith. And it was the very first episode with Matt Smith, excluding the End of Time Part 2, which is very good, and I absolutely love it. Number 1. Now, if you remember from my rankings of Series 5, 6, and 7, you know exactly which one it is, what the best episode for me is. And for those of you who don't know, I'll put you out of your misery now. Number 1 is Vincent and the Doctor. Now, Vincent and the Doctor, in my opinion, is going to remain being number 1. Because, like with A Good Man Goes to War and The Angels Take Manhattan, it's a very well put together episode. It is it kind of explores Vincent's life, of his torment and mental torture to an extent, of how no one actually likes him, and he's seen this thing, the Crephaeus I think it's called, just kill the people who can't see it, and he's the person that can see it because he sees the world in a different angle to an extent, because especially with that scene towards the end where you just see where him, Amy, and the Doctor are just lying down looking up at the stars, and with Vincent describing how he sees the world, we just get the image of the stars just turning into his painting of Starry Night, which is probably one of my favourite paintings from him. So yeah, it's good to see that. And not to mention, even further after that, when the Doctor and Amy take Vincent to the present to explore the museum where we go into his section, just see how popular he has become despite all this torment and torture he got back when he used to live. It's a very emotional scene and beautifully put together. If there's any negative things to say about this episode, I need someone else to point that out. This is easily one of the best episodes in the entirety of New Who, Doctor Who. And if someone disagrees with me, I don't care about your opinion. It's your opinion, and this is my opinion. But with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the little notification bell down the corner below, and I'll see you next time for Peter Capaldi.